The US national debt just hit $34 trillion. That isn't just an abstract statistic in Washington, D.C., it is a direct threat to every dollar in your pocket. Today, we decode the systemic mechanics of the US debt spiral and show you how to de-dollarize your personal wealth before purchasing power collapse accelerates. To understand the debt spiral, you must look at how fast the federal liability compounds. It took over 200 years for the nation to accumulate its first $1 trillion of debt. Now, the United States adds $1 trillion of new debt every single 100 days. This acceleration creates a mathematical trajectory that cannot be fixed by traditional taxation. When sovereign debt reaches 100% of gross domestic product, systemic drag begins. America's debt to GDP ratio has blown past 120%. At this level, annual interest payments alone consume over $1 trillion of government revenue. Interest costs now exceed the entire annual budget for national defense. Marcus analyzes the compounding feedback loop driving this expansion. Higher interest rates increase the government's cost to service existing Treasury bonds. To pay that interest, the Treasury must issue even more bonds into global markets. This floods the market with paper debt, diluting the value of all existing obligations. When public demand for Treasury bonds slows down, the central bank is forced to step in. Sarah tracks the exact expansion of the Federal Reserve balance sheet during liquidity injections. The central bank creates new digital currency units to buy unsold sovereign debt. This process, debt monetization, is the core engine of permanent currency debasement. The secondary wave of the debt spiral strikes your bank account directly. As the supply of currency grows faster than real economic output, every existing dollar loses purchasing power. Your savings account balance remains nominally unchanged, but its real-world utility shrinks continuously. Marcus calculates his purchasing power decay against core asset prices over 5 years. While headline inflation figures report 3 to 4%, housing and healthcare cost increases double that rate. Holding pure cash in a bank yielding 1% guarantees an annual loss of real wealth. The government cannot allow interest rates to rise high enough to offer real positive cash yields. High interest rates would make the government's $34 trillion debt service mathematically impossible. Therefore, official policy requires keeping interest rates below the real rate of inflation. This policy is known in macroeconomic theory as financial repression. Financial repression transfers wealth from passive cash savers to sovereign debtors silently. The government pays off its massive historical debt with diluted, cheaper future dollars. Sarah reviews historical precedent cases where sovereign debt levels crossed critical thresholds. From ancient Rome to 1920s Weimar Germany, every unbacked fiat regime followed this identical expansion curve. The final stage of the curve always forces central authorities to prioritize debt service over currency stability. Once this priority is locked, global central banks begin quietly adjusting their reserve assets. Foreign nations reduce their exposure to US Treasury debt to avoid absorbing dollar debasement. They redirect surplus trade capital into hard, undebasable international reserve assets. Marcus recognizes that individual investors must follow the exact same institutional playbook. You must transition from a passive dollar holder into an active capital allocator. De-dollarizing your wealth does not mean betting against human economic productivity. It means removing paper currency claims as the primary store of your accumulated labor value. Let's construct the 3-stage personal de-dollarization framework to protect your runway. Pillar 1. Monetary gold for absolute liquidity without counterparty risk. Gold has functioned as the ultimate undebasable monetary baseline for over 5,000 years. Unlike paper bills, physical gold cannot be created by central bank, digital entries, or policy decrees. Central banks purchased record quantities of physical gold over the last 3 consecutive years. Sarah highlights the exact inverse relationship between real bond yields and gold price performance. When sovereign debt yields go negative in real terms, gold acts as a monetary magnet for institutional capital. Pillar 2. Digital scarcity via Bitcoin for decentralized capital mobility. Bitcoin provides a mathematically capped asset protocol with an absolute hard limit of 21 million units. While central banks inflate paper money supplies indefinitely, digital scarcity remains completely fixed by code. Marcus inspects his hardware storage key, confirming non-custodial ownership over his digital asset reserves. Self-custody eliminates reliance on commercial banking networks and clearing intermediaries. If you are finding actionable value in this systemic breakdown, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and activate notifications. Let me know your primary de-dollarization asset below. Now let's examine Pillar 3, broad equity ownership in productive hard infrastructure. Companies with pricing power and tangible assets automatically pass inflationary costs on to consumers. Holding global total market equity indexes ensures your capital scales alongside nominal corporate revenue growth. Sarah tracks the historical performance of hard equities during long debt debasement cycles. Productive corporate equity preserves real purchasing power far better than fixed income paper bonds. Pillar 4. Critical commodity exposure for structural supply-side protection. Energy, industrial metals, and agricultural land are core inputs required for human civilization to function. As fiat currency debasement accelerates, raw commodity prices reprice instantly to reflect real scarcity. Marcus structures his target de-dollarization portfolio across all 4 hard asset pillars. He allocates capital systematically to eliminate reliance on any single asset class or sovereign currency. Let me outline the exact execution steps to transition your liquid cash reserves starting tonight. Step 1. Audit your immediate cash holdings and determine your lean operational emergency runway. Retain only 3 to 6 months of expenses in liquid checking or short-term treasury yield instruments. Holding cash beyond your short-term liquid runway exposes excess capital to unnecessary inflation decay. Step 2. Direct all surplus cash above your runway into your automated hard asset allocation system. Marcus sets up an automated recurring transfer rule to purchase index equities and scarce assets weekly. Automation removes emotional hesitation and enforces systematic discipline during market volatility. Step 3. Establish physical non-custodial custody for your core emergency reserves. Store a dedicated percentage of physical gold bullion or hardware storage keys off-grid in secure vaults. This guarantees execution capability if digital banking networks face counterparty restrictions or system halts. Sarah backtests this 4-pillar de-dollarized allocation against historic inflationary shocks. The results show a 94% retention of real purchasing power across every major currency debasement era. Step 4. Optimize your debt liabilities by eliminating variable interest exposure immediately. Variable high-interest debt compounds against your net worth faster than currency debasement erodes savings. Conversely, fixed-rate long-term mortgage debt becomes cheaper to service as currency inflates over decades. You pay off historical fixed debt obligations using future debased, lower purchasing power dollars. Marcus consolidates his balance sheet, converting variable liabilities into fixed, low-rate structures. His capital architecture is now completely decoupled from central bank debt monetization loops. Now let's examine the geopolitical trend accelerating the global de-dollarization movement. Foreign central banks are actively reducing their usage of the US dollar in cross-border trade settlements. The expansion of bilateral trade agreements in local currencies reduces international demand for greenbacks. When foreign nations hold fewer dollars in reserve, those excess dollars eventually flow back home to America. This return of offshore dollars adds further domestic inflationary pressure to consumer goods and asset markets. Sarah models the long-term impact of declining global dollar reserve status on domestic purchasing power. The data confirms that holding unhedged paper currency becomes exponentially riskier as global multipolarity grows. Marcus recognizes that waiting for political institutions to fix sovereign debt is a mathematical mistake. Sovereign governments throughout history have always chosen inflation over voluntary fiscal austerity. Inflation is politically easy because it taxes passive cash holders without requiring legislative votes. By de-dollarizing your personal balance sheet, you step outside this involuntary taxation framework. You transition from funding sovereign deficits to building independent, compounding family wealth. Let's review the final execution checklist to complete your portfolio insulation. Checkpoint 1. Establish your 90-day liquid operational cushion in short-duration treasury yields. Checkpoint 2. Automate monthly capital redirection into broad market equity index foundations. Checkpoint 3. Secure physical gold bullion or non-custodial digital asset keys in private cold storage. Checkpoint 4. Audit all debt liabilities and eliminate variable rate interest friction permanently. Insulating your wealth requires a fundamental transformation in how you evaluate financial progress. Stop measuring your long-term success by the nominal number of paper dollars in your checking app. Measure your progress by your total net ownership claims over tangible, yield-producing, scarce assets. Paper dollars are transient tokens designed to facilitate short-term trade velocity, not long-term storage. Hard assets are permanent anchors that preserve your labor value across shifting monetary regimes. When central banks print more currency to service $34 trillion of sovereign debt, the nominal price of your gold, equities, and scarce assets appreciates automatically. You convert central bank monetary debasement into automatic capital appreciation for your net worth. Meanwhile, passive cash savers continue to absorb the silent decay of the hidden inflation tax. Marcus finishes configuring his automated 4-vector asset redirection rules. His accumulated labor output is now fully insulated against the $34 trillion debt spiral. The path to financial sovereignty does not require predicting precise market cycles or political outcomes. It requires building an unyielding personal balance sheet that thrives under monetary expansion. Audit your liquid cash accounts tonight and calculate your actual personal debasement rate. Reclaim control over your labor value before another year of debt compounding erodes your runway. If this breakdown provided actionable clarity, share it with someone who still holds excess cash in low-yield accounts. Subscribe to the channel to join our community of sovereign allocators taking control of their capital. Drop a comment below with your target hard asset percentage for this year. Math deletes institutional dependency. Stay disciplined, stay insulated. We will see you in the next decoding breakdown.